The final weekend of the PLL regular season comes to you from Tom and Mary Casey Stadium on the campus of UAlbany. Still a lot to determine before the playoffs begin. The first of 6 games this weekend. Redwoods and Whipsnakes, one of the best rivalries in the PLL, will be played for the second time this year. So this is what the standings look like for the first ever 6-game weekend in PLL history. It starts here between Redwoods and Whipsnakes, and it's a quick win for T.D. Erlin. Has some room, found Pinnell, who thought better of the quick shot.
Take that shot himself. You can see the Whips wisely slow to rotate.
Starting lineups are powered by Ticketmaster, and before we even put him on the screen, Sergio Perkovic puts one in the net. 24 seconds from the opening face-off. Redwoods strike first tonight.
Sergio Perkovic, little dodge down the alley. You're going to see a right-to-left split. Creates some separation on Abbott. And the Whips are just a little hesitant to go, trusting Bernlor to come up with that. Quick start for the Redwoods. You win the opening face-off, boom, you score right away. And Bernlor, like you said, he's kind of turned things around. So, like, which Bernlor are we getting tonight?
Bernlor had 2 really tough games, week 4 and week 5. 4 and 3 with a +5 score differential. You'd think would have a better chance, as Ryder Garnsey just does that one all himself and throws one past Bernlor. It's 2-0 Redwoods.
And to address your point head on, you're 8th in terms of defensive efficiency. It's a lot of the same personnel that's carried over from year to year, so we'll kind of get into that later, but you're going to see Garnsey kind of drive up. He gets a switch on the short stick, Abbott, and a little rocker step there. You can see Abbott kind of expecting Garnsey to go back to his left. That subtle little body movement gets Abbott has got Henningberg trapped.
And there's a shot from Brad Smith. He ran right by him and put it under the bar.
So hard to stop a team with multiple opportunities. You're going to see Brad Smith kind of dodge down the alley. Henningberg, because of that cut through, he's the slide guy. So as Abbott takes Henningberg to the inside, he then becomes the slider. A little late there, but that's one that Troutner usually comes up with, that low angle. You can see Troutner was in position to make that save. But Brad Smith is somebody that Coach Stagnita has pointed out, like, we need to see more production from him.
Harrelson to Miles Jones. Jones 4th in the PLL in assists with 12. Lefty shot on the run across the body and in. Miles Jones shoots it back across the grain and beats Bernlor. It's 3-1 Redwoods.
You highlighted his assists. He's actually first amongst all midfielders. So you can see this dodge. They slide, they support, they're there. But just the pinpoint accuracy on this re-attack. So good job by Jones identifying a recovering defense. And as he splits, you can see the slide come from Bernhardt. But Jones is just too much and lets Bernhardt know about it.
Working on Squires, opens it up for Perkovic, couldn't handle the pass. He takes a hack and a nice little goose around the other end by Muller, and the pass leads to a shot and a goal from Zed Williams. How about the play by Tim Muller? Creates the turnover, is able to pick it up on the other side, and he'll pick up an assist as well.
You nailed it. What a play by Muller, indeed. You can see Perkovic, a little ginger, but afterwards, after the play, but Muller right here, this little goose, flicks it by Perkovic, who's kind of reeling from that check, and in transition, an early rotation there. I think the Redwoods could have been a little slower to go. You could see Sullivan sliding out to Muller while he's beyond the 2-point arc. But Muller wisely gets it to Williams, and Williams uses the rotating defender as a screen. You can see him shoot right around Eddie Glazner, so great execution by Williams on that shot in transition.
2 Redwoods lead Approaching the halfway point of the first quarter. Both these teams will play again on Sunday. Rambo feeds it, and there's a shot from Carlson. Rambo opened it up. Carlson found a perfect corner to put that one in, and it's tied.
Carlson, from distance, you're going to see as Rambo kind of pushes up. Sexton's right in the middle of your screen, number 46. He's concerned with a potential double team, and he kind of gets lost in no man's land here. You can see him, do I help, do I not help? He assumes he's got help behind him, and meanwhile, Carlson just kind of finds a soft spot in the defense. And I'm wondering if that's the farthest shot that Carlson's got all season.
Carlson has 14 goals, 0 assists on the season. Bernlord to Bernhardt. Faked the shot, gave to Rambo. One more across, and Williams tracked down from behind. Kyle Hartzell made the play. Just picked up in time for last weekend's games in Colorado Springs. And the veteran Kyle Hartzell makes his presence fit. Something to keep an eye on here is Jules Henningberg. Trying to break this 3-3 tie. Nobody's scored here in the first 2.5 minutes of this second quarter. Jones, the feed. Kavanaugh finishes it off. Close to the crease. They say it's a good goal. There's the distribution from Miles Jones as he spotted Kavanaugh on his way to the net.
What a first half for Jones. He's already buried one. He's made some good looks. And here he shows off not only his vision, but also his ability to manipulate a defense. You see, as he goes to dodge, all eyes are on Jones. He frees it right here. This is the matchup. This is what he's kind of surveying over here, is Ryder Garnsey. And as soon as his man as soon as his man looks, you can see Young staring at Jones. I'm sorry, it's Kavanaugh. My apologies. Kavanaugh kind of crept behind Young, who was splitting those two Redwoods offensive players on the backside. So Jones able to draw that double team and then identify the 2-on-1 off ball.
And Miles Jones with Paul.
Miles, it had been 10 minutes of game time in between your last goals. So how do you keep that going, what you just started out there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited about the matchup. You know, if it's a long stick, short stick, I think that, you know, after last week's performance, there came a little bit more of a chip on my shoulder. But I'm just seeing the field better. We talked over, you know, our spacing in our bye week, and we're capitalizing on that.
Miles, thank you.
Thank you.
Already has a
Kind of
goal.
wanted it back.
Williams over the head went Eppel, and Williams got the bouncer to go.
If you recall, because it seems ages ago, but when the Whips were at full strength, early offense was a staple of their overall team strategy. They wanted to get the ball down the field to Rambo and Williams and go. So here you see them kind of returning to that strategy. You get the ball to Williams, you set a little brush pick, a little clear through there by Bernhardt, and Williams just goes strong top side. An ill-advised over the head check there by Eppel. Williams has seen plenty of those. He tucks his stick and finishes. Well, without Rambo, Williams is getting double teamed there. There's a slide coming. It was just defenses were able to kind of load up on Williams.
These guys, and again, as Paul touched on, for most of it, they were stuck inside of their locker rooms. Not able to get out on the field, can't throw a ball around. Lightning, obviously, in the area meant you had to stay indoors.
And it's a really tough balance you have as an athlete. Like,
there's Jake Carlson with the goal. So Jay Carlson in tight, puts it into the bottom corner, and gives Whipsnakes the lead.
So Jake Carlson came out of the locker room ready to go. You're going to see this little sweep by Kirst. He swings it across to Smith, who finds a cutting Carlson. But back to my point about what to do in the locker room, like, you can watch film, but sometimes you can almost like tire yourself out trying to like do too much.
Joe Nardella has won 7 of 10 to start this game against TD Erlin. Zed Williams with a wide open look, and he does not miss. A hat trick for Zed Williams already in this one.
You're going to see Gutterding attack from the wing. He's going to go underneath, freeze it right here. You can see just all of this daylight here. There's just nobody there. So after he throws back to Williams, somebody from the backside needs to rotate and slide across. So Gutterding gains a little bit of advantage. Finn Sullivan maybe created some offense there.
See if Redwoods can get the offense going. Although the ball on the ground right away as Rob Pinnell was stripped of that one by Dunn. Miles Jones in tight. Jump shot goes! Miles Jones using his size to his advantage, scores here in the final seconds of the half.
So I thought he had Pinnell wide open directly in front of him. Elects to take matters into his own hands. You can see headed up, kind of holding that defense off ball, and then goes to the question mark. Somehow finds a sliver of net on the near side between Bernlohr and the pipe.
He did play in that game, was injured early, didn't really have much of an impact on that game, and the team stumbled a little bit after that as Miles Jones. Boy, he has come out of the locker room after this delay and has taken over for Redwoods. He has scored both the goals since the delay, and he's tied it up at 6. That's his third tonight.
Out of the locker room at the beginning of the game and out of the locker room after the delay, he has been on a mission tonight. You can see him matched up on Abbott. He throws that little pump fake and actually gets Abbott to turn his head. This is going to be a gorgeous angle here. Watch Jones throw this big pump. Abbott looks, thinks the shot is off, and by extending his stick way up in the air, he uses his huge frame, that 6'5" frame, to actually shoot over the top of Bernlohr.
John Hawes rolled away from Isaiah Davis-Allen, then help came from Finn Sullivan that knocked the ball free. Whipsnakes came out of the locker room as Rambo scores. Matt Rambo with his first in a long time. It's the first in more than 13 minutes of game action for Whipsnakes as well. It puts them back ahead 7-6 as Rambo gets on the board here in Albany. During the second quarter of this game, as Pinnell's pass, Perkovic had to adjust. Excuse me, that was Charlie Bertrand who reached back for it and then wires it in. It was close to that 2-point arc. I thought his foot was on the line, but we'll see.
Bertrand using all 6'3" and those long arms to corral that ball. You see the beautiful placement. This offside, off-stick side high, just inside the arc. Foot lands on it at 15. You obviously want to catch it, shoot that in rhythm, but ideally if he could have planted that foot right outside the arc, that would have been ideal.
Bertrand, a third-round pick by Redwoods out of Virginia. Started his college career at Merrimack College.
Picked up a Division I national championship.
Yep. Yeah, led Merrimack College to back-to-back Division II titles in 18 and 19. And I don't think anybody can stop Miles Jones tonight. That's his 4th already.
He's dialed in. And here's the issue. If you slide to him, he leads all midfielders in assists. So what do you do? Little hesitation here. You can see him just hold the defense. Such a high IQ in terms of that head up. You know he can distribute. So, okay, we'll dare you to shoot. Gladly take it.
So the question I ask is that you have been vehemently against short-sticking Jules Henningberg.
Fair. I would double pole.
Okay.
I would put a short stick on Garnsey and I'd bump another pole up to Jones.
Zed Williams looking for his fourth, finds it. Well, the answer to Miles Jones is apparently Zed Williams. They both have 4 goals in this game. 4 of their team's 8.
Yeah, and the key here is you've got Abbott and Henningberg. So Matt Abbott wisely picks on Jules Henningberg right here. So he's basically saying, okay, we've got the offensive midfielder, the former attacker trapped on defense. I'm going to stay on the field, and instead of going at him one-on-one, I'm going to get him involved in a 2-man game such that he's got to navigate it. You can see the pick set. Henningberg just a little late there in his help, and Williams absolutely nails the corner. Forearmed him in the head.
Ryder Garnsey has now gone to that injury tent as well to be checked out. And this is a Vineyard Vines power play. First power play of the game for Redwoods, who are at just under 55% success rate, tied for the first in power play percentage this season in the PLL. Miles Jones feeds it. Henningberg scores. The quick stick from Henningberg off the feed from Miles Jones. A power play goal for Redwoods. And it will remain a power play.
And Jones continues his big night. You're going to see him as the ball swings, kind of look off the defense and just flick a skip pass down to Henningberg. And Henningberg, ultra quick release to get that past Bernlohr, who's trying to go from pipe to pipe there.
It is Isaiah Davis Allen out to take the face-off. There's at least a conversation to be had. And Matt Rambo tucks it inside the bar to tie it at 9. 2 goals in the return for Matt Rambo.
He uses a pick behind the cage. Bernhard had Jones trapped on defense. And just like the previous pick by Abbott, exploiting those Redwoods offensive midfielders when they get trapped on defense. And in both instances, they've been late on that switch. So you got to communicate. Are we staying with our man? Are we getting through? Are we switching it?
As Zed Williams' pass snared by Hawes, he was able to get the shot away, and Troutner lost it. The pass in front, and now he scores. Troutner looked like he had it knocked out of his stick while he was in the crease. The ball came back to Hawes, and he scored. Troutner doesn't like it, and Nat St. Laurent doesn't like it. John Hawes certainly does.
It looked like there was contact when Troutner had it. Here's Hawes' first attempt. You can see Troutner, the save. Kind of a bang-bang play. It looks like Carlson was going for the ball, and Troutner actually didn't have possession because it was floating in air.
Nat St. Laurent has thrown his challenge flag. I'm not sure this is something that can be challenged. And you can challenge for a crease violation and hope that that is something they can look at, but
Redwoods are challenging that there was no goalie interference.
I think we knew what he meant. But the call on the field was a good goal. Is there contact here at all?
Right there, you can see Carlson makes contact with the stick. That dislodges the ball. I mean, had this contact not been made right there, Troutner would have caught that clean.
It's a quick review. We'll get our answer here shortly. The location of the stick. Was it inside the crease? He didn't technically have the ball in his stick.
The play is deemed to be not challengeable. The Redwoods still saved their challenge.
And again, that's what I was thinking. It's a judgment call. It's like a penalty.
Seth, are you there?
I am, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing great, Seth. How are you?
Yeah, after a 4-hour rain delay, I'm ready to roll.
Can you walk us through just in terms of challengeable, not challengeable, that specific play as they bury another one?
Yeah, obviously this is going to be a touchy situation, but the direct play did not involve anything around a goal. Did it lead to a goal? Yes, but several seconds later, so technically it is an unchallengeable call.
Could you challenge that play, Seth, under normal circumstances on a bang-bang play if the goaltender's stick was touched?
I mean, only if it leads to a goal or it has crease implications, that's where it's challengeable. But at this point in time, because of the time that elapsed, you know, it's basically just either a missed call if it was interference with a goalie, or it was just a play-on type situation. And so again, we had to give Nat St. Laurent his flag back. It's an unchallengeable call at this point in time.
All right, thank you, Seth Tierney, head of competition here for the PLL. Checking in from the scorers table as Matt Rambo scores right off another face-off win by Joe Nard for himself and an assist on the middle one. And now Rambo has 5 points in his return to the Whipsnakes lineup. Zed Williams now has 5 as well, all of them goals for Whipsnakes. Redwoods struggling here without T.D. Erlin to get the ball. Zed Williams and Matt Rambo have combined for 10 points in a 12-9 Whipsnakes lead. Thank you, Paul. Well, this game started a long time ago, and there's a good effort, and it leads to a goal. Nardella couldn't secure that face-off. Ryder Garnsey makes it a 2-goal game.
And how about Kyle Hartzell? Look, you gotta try. Sure, he's arguably the best face-off guy in the world. You gotta hustle. You gotta chase down ground balls. You gotta throw checks. You gotta just make it as tiring as possible. You see the diving, leaping check there by Hartzell. That creates the loose ball. And Ryder Garnsey doesn't give up on the play, identifies it and picks it up and slings it to the cage before anybody blinks on the progressive game flow.
Rambo again. Matt Rambo, 4 goals, 6 points in the game. He has scored 3 times in the 4th quarter alone.
You can see the feed by Chanachuk, and Rambo wisely takes a couple steps upfield before finishing. Matt, it seems like good old times down there with you and Zed. You know, Zed's got 5 and you've got 6 points. What's it feel like to be back out there with your buddy?
Feels good to play with Zed. One of the best ever, nicest dude I ever met. He's the best.
Matt Rambo, 2019 PLL MVP.
Scored on their last power play opportunity.
Time for a Vineyard Vines power play for Redwoods. Time winding down. They're still in this one. Down by 3, but no T.D. Erlin. That bouncer off the bar and in. Jules Henningberg, the highest of bouncers. Crossbar and down. Power play goal, and it didn't take long.
And another look by Jones. So you're going to see as they move the ball around, freeze it right there. He's basically reading this 2-on-1. He's got 2 Redwoods at his disposal and this lone defender. That's his read. So the previous possession, he skipped it through. This time he identifies that the crease is open. In this case, it's Henningberg again. But that's what Jones provides you as that top middle of the 3-3, the ability to shoot from 2-point and then to distribute accordingly.
2 goals tonight for Henningberg, both on the power play. They come out with a pole again. Pinnell rolls on Manis. Skips it across for Garnsey, an extra move, and he sticks it. Ryder Garnsey makes a play to bring Redwoods within 1. That's a hat-trick goal for Ryder Garnsey.
Incredible patience here by Garnsey. Let's start with the skip pass by Pinnell. It's even just to get that through, but Garnsey with that big windup, and he's known for shooting kind of awkward angles, awkward stick shooting angles. So there he kind of rolls, gets to his right hand. I'm sure he's got some words for Muller right now.
This might be the best Ryder Guernsey's looked this year. Smith. Brad Smith right in front, and they score. Smith finds Hawes, and a big-time goal for John Hawes. Up by 2, 61 seconds to play.
You're going to see as Smith plants and rolls, you can see Eddie Glazer watch the ball ready to help, and behind the play they just lose John Hawes. So good off-ball movement by the Whipsnakes to cause some confusion.
And the Whipsnakes defense does the job at the end. They hang on for a 14-12 win.